for millions? Nah. Was it the fact that he's a 34-count felon himself? Nah. Was it the fact that he's taking food away from children? Nah. Do you know what it is? You know what it is? It's the Epstein files. And the Epstein files, they're pretending the Epstein files don't exist anymore, and that's finally enough. That has me Alex Jones crying on TikTok. Crying on TikTok. A grown-ass man in his car crying on TikTok. Because he's not going to get to see who was on the Epstein list. You know why they're not letting the Epstein list out now? You know why they're not releasing it? Because that mother's on the list. Okay? If you don't listen to a thing I've said in the past, you're not going to listen to a thing I've said in the future. Listen to this right now. Listen to this right here, right now. That on the list. That's why they're pretending it doesn't exist anymore. Because he's on the motherfucking list. Okay? So please, for the love of God, thank you. Thank you for finally deciding you're done with him. But let's read up. Let's read up on what else is happening in the country. It's not good. It's not good. And if anything's going to make you cry, Alex Jones, I don't feel like it should be the Epstein files. It just, maybe it shouldn't.
This slew of MAGA people that are all of a sudden becoming regretful. And folks on the left going like, guys, we can't just beat up on these people because they're never going to learn. And I know this comes from a place of hopefulness. But here's the thing. None of these people are having regret because of something that happened to someone else. Their regret comes from what happened to them. And I think the thing that everyone needs to be so fucking aware of is that none of them are thinking the Democrats were right. They are all thinking I was wrong. And let's be clear, those are two very different thought processes, okay? They are not going, you guys were right and I should have listened to you. They are going, in this instance, I was wrong. These people aren't anti-MAGA. They are anti what MAGA did to them. Across the board, they are still fundamentally the same people that are so happy with everything else that's happened until it finally touched them because they thought they were safe. And until I see a regretful MAGA voter that goes, oh my God, this happened to me, and now I'm realizing how this affected others, or oh my God, I saw something on the news about what happened to somebody that has nothing to do with me, and I couldn't believe what I saw, and that is not okay, we can have a conversation about healing those people and helping them learn. But when someone goes, I lost my USAID job, when someone goes, my kid lost their IEP, when someone goes, my rural small town closed down, in none of these guys, I was wrong video, almost across the board, I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but almost across the board, none of them have said, you were right and I was wrong and I should have listened. I've heard it a couple of times and that's it. But for the most part, these people are not all of a sudden going, I've got to change my ways. They're going, I'm just simply upset that it finally affected me, and those two things are not the same.
I've never seen more videos of MAGA leaving the movement than I have the last 2 days because of the Epstein files. And with that, I'm also seeing a ton of hate comments and stitches their way, and I get it. You know how I feel about that crowd. But hear me out. Cold deprogramming has never started with facts. People don't leave cults because all of a sudden logic and truth hits them. It starts with the little cracks in their belief system. Maybe a promised event didn't happen. Maybe their leader is starting to contradict some of the core values. Slowly, that contradiction creates discomfort, and usually one of two things will happen. One is they will double down that no matter what, we're here to stay, or two, they start to question everything. The instinct to hit them with, oh my God, I took this for you to get it, and we're not long, and it's too late now. But people who tend to fall for cults are looking for community and acceptance. So the more we push them, the more they're going to go back to their echo chambers where the current MAGAs are waiting to engulf them back. Truth is, the best person to reach a current MAGA is a former woman. That's just human nature. We're more inclined to listen to someone who's been where we are than someone who's been challenging and fighting us from the start. We don't need perfect allies. We need loud ones. And let's be honest, the only person louder than a current MAGA is hopefully a former one.
I've been seeing these videos all over my For You page. There are so many people coming out of the woodwork now saying that they voted for Trump and that they have now realized their grave is never going to follow through on his promises, and actually, he's going to destroy all of us.
Trump and his team had a problem, and they finally released all the information they have on the Jeffrey Epstein files, and that information basically says, we ain't find nothing. Hold on. Y'all talking about the man who had the island with a bunch of cameras, had rich and powerful friends. Hey, look, it's Bill Gates. Join them on that island so they can then commit terrible crimes. Y'all couldn't find nothing? Donald Trump and his team said, it's the craziest thing. It was just him on the cameras. We ain't find nothing. And then go on to say, Jeffrey Epstein himself, so case closed. We can just blame everything on him. As you can imagine, people are not going for this, especially because of what I'm about to tell you. Listen closely. Before Donald Trump and his team released the files, they actually seemed really excited to show the world what they found, especially Donald Trump's Attorney General, Bondi. She's important. Remember that name. Now, again, this is before the files were released. She hops on Fox News and says, like I said, trust this administration. Everybody who's on Epstein Island going to jail. The anchor says, how you know who's on Epstein Island? You got a list? She said, man, I'm looking at it right now on my desk. The anchor said, you got that list? Like, for real, for real? She said, stop playing with me. It's right here, it's right here. Well, remember, when they released the files, they said they didn't find anything. There was no list. Trump administration mistake number one. Now, to understand mistake number two, we have to look at the FBI director under Donald Trump, Cash. Another line. Before the list was released, Cash is on Joe Rogan's podcast and says we ain't find no videos on Epstein Island. It was clear at this point something changed in the Trump administration. They went from excited to show everybody everything to we found no videos, we found nothing. Rogan says, what about all the cameras on Epstein Island? Cash says, what cameras? If I had videos, I would show you right now. No videos of Epstein, there's no video. But when they release the files say something different. They say they did find videos. All of the videos being of Epstein, no other powerful people. Now, Bondi and Cash both made huge mistakes because they said statements that are either true or a lie. Again, Bondi said, I am looking at the client list right now. They released the Epstein files. Suddenly there's no client list. Cash said, no videos exist. They released the files. They said, no, we found videos. So people immediately called the Trump administration out. They say, we've caught you in a few lies. How many other things are you lying about? That's where things start to get stupid. I'm serious. Prepare your ears. Bondi comes out and says, why does everybody think we lying? We released the files. We ain't find nothing. Why y'all think we lying? Everybody said, well, when you was on Fox News, you said you had a list of everybody who was on Epstein's island on your desk. Then y'all released the files and say y'all ain't know who was on that island. Bondi said, man, I ain't never said I had no list of his clients. Y'all tripping. Everybody said, that your girl? She said, I don't know this. Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. I said, I had the files on my desk. I didn't mean the client list. There's no client list. That's suspicious. Oh, let's put a pin on that. Cash, you said there's no videos. Now you saying there are videos. Can we see the videos? Cash said, don't say you ain't say that. Cash said, oh, yeah. I'll show y'all a video right now. The FBI releases a video of the day Jeffrey Epstein gets. It's 11 hours of footage to prove nothing suspicious happened to Jeffrey Epstein, and he just himself. But in this 11 hours of footage, a minute gets skipped. It goes from like 58 to 59. People are like, hey, yo! The Attorney General says, oh, you know what? That always happens. This is a malfunction that the cameras in that prison have. I told y'all this is going to get stupid. At this point, people really feel like they're getting lied to, so they have to have a full-on sit-down press conference. Reporters ask, okay, what's going on with the Epstein files, y'all? Donald Trump opens his mouth to say, are we still talking about the Epstein files? Meanwhile, there's so much going on in the world. My heart goes out to Texas. Gaslighting 101. The Attorney General says, don't worry, I'll answer the question. We don't know. There's nothing in the files. And that's the story they're sticking to. Now, this is a huge issue for Donald Trump's base. They're stereotypically very distrustful of the government, as most people are. But that's why Donald Trump came out in the first place saying, we're going to expose all these Epstein files and y'all could trust the government again. And then they get caught in all these lies, so it backfires. And many people in Donald Trump's base are upset with him right now. So Donald Trump's response was just to blame the Democrats. He literally says Hillary Clinton and Obama created the Epstein files. But what annoys me the most is they still haven't released everything on the documents, and they're saying they're not releasing everything, because they're trying to protect the victims. Which makes me wonder who they think are the victims. And at the end of the day, I think Donald lost a lot of fans with this one. And to the remaining fans, you can't ignore this moment. Donald Trump and his team say Jeffrey Epstein committed all of those crimes by himself. Stand by your boy. Then go stand in front of a mirror and say, wisdom is chasing me, but I am fine.
Alright, so in this video we are literally seeing how the Maga voters regretting how they voted, and now they are doing it's like a mass people are literally leaving the Republican Party. in huge numbers. Reason why? Because of the promises that were promised during the campaign, they haven't been fulfilled. So people are feeling, like they're being lied to. They feel like, disappointed. They feel like, they're losing out. For example, during the campaign time, the Republican Party literally say they're going to release, the Jeff Epstein's files. And right now we are literally seeing like, there's a bit of cover up over there. So some people are asking questions like, where's the client list, the famous client list? Right now we are being told the client list does not exist. Is it true? Only time will tell. Only the people who know will know if it's the truth or not. Now we're also seeing right now, so many people have lost their jobs as a result of the tariff war between America against the world. So China literally turned her back against America. They look for alternative market when it comes to buying agriculture goods from America. Like for example, right now China is not buying meat from America. China right now is not buying soya beans from America. And remember, China used to be the biggest market consumer for American for American agriculture goods, especially when it comes to meat and soya beans. Now that's already is a problem. It's a headache for farmers in America right now, because where are they going to take this huge produce of soya beans, of meat, to within within a period of is it a period of 1 month? Because when the whole thing was going back and forth, the tariff war, it was like literally crazy, and China just announced buying this and this from America. So what's going to happen to the farmers? Of course, right now farmers are literally feeling the effect. They're losing out their jobs, they're losing out their farms, they cannot pay their mortgages, and then the government is not giving them subsidies like they had promised, like their previous administration have been doing. So farmers right now, they're literally feeling it. And now also, to add to the headache, they don't have workers to work in those farms as a result of the mass deportation of illegal immigrants. So as you know, illegal immigrants are the ones who used to work in those farms. So the Mexicans, the Latinos, those are the ones, people who used to really work in those farms. Right now, they're no longer doing it because of this mass deportation. People are afraid to work in those farms. So farmers right now, they have no workers, and now the farms are just lying idle. The farm produce right now, they're rotting on the farm. So that is the reality, what's happening on the ground. And then now let's go USAID, the budget cuts in USAID. People have lost jobs left, right and center because USAID has been shut down across the world. So people have been laid off. Now we are looking at FEMA, we are looking at health insurance budget cuts, Medicaid, snaps, benefits, all of them have been cut, and now people are feeling it. So one or another, people have lost jobs, people are not getting their health insurance benefits, people are not getting their stamps approval, the people are not getting their FEMA snaps benefits. So literally people right now, they are feeling it, and it cut across the board. It doesn't care whether you're white, brown, yellow, black, it doesn't matter. Or it cut across the board. So right now people in America are feeling it, and now especially the people who voted for this current administration, they are literally broken-hearted, and they're wondering how are they going to survive, especially for those who are literally depending on these benefits that are being offered by the government. So what's going to happen? Only time will tell. But the reality is right now, people are recording themselves on social media. People are talking, and they're literally saying, you know what? I wish I had known this was going to happen. I wish I could go back in town and change the way I voted. But unfortunately, karma is a bitch. Unfortunately, reality, life, it only happens once. The choice you make today will either benefit tomorrow or hurt you to the next day. And this basically what is happening. That's the reason why wherever you're going to cast your vote, wherever you're going to do, before you cast your vote, you're always told, please do your research, know who you're voting for, so that to avoid such situation. And this is what is happening. For season continuing, and people right now, they are literally feeling the effect. So what's going to happen? Only time will tell. But the reality is, Maga voters and also other voters across America right now, they're feeling the pinch because of this big beautiful bill that has been passed, and it's affecting people left, right and center. Whether you're black, white, yellow, red, it doesn't matter. Whether you're a woman or man, it doesn't matter. It's affecting people across the board. Is it a big beautiful bill? Was it right to the way you voted? Only time will tell. Let me know what you think about this video. Drop your comments, and please subscribe to my channel.